The reluctant hero. Ethan Harper wiped the flour from his hands on his faded jeans, the scent of fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies lingering in the air of his cozy suburban kitchen. At 35, he was a man who had traded boardroom suits for aprons and spreadsheets for grocery lists. 5 years ago, his wife Mia had been taken by a sudden illness, leaving him with their 4-year-old daughter, Lily, a whirlwind of giggles, questions, and endless energy. Ethan had poured everything into being both mom and dad, turning their two-bedroom house into a fortress of bedtime stories and park picnics. Work kept him grounded, a mid-level marketing consultant for a local firm, remote most days, which let him be there for Lily's preschool drop-offs and her obsession with drawing monster trucks that fly. But lately, his best friend and business partner, Jake, had been relentless. "Dude, you're turning into a hermit crab. Lily needs a mom figure and you need, well, a life." It was Jake who orchestrated the blind date. "Her name's Aria, met her through my wife's book club. Shy type, works at that little Italian spot downtown. Trust me, she's a gem." Ethan had laughed it off at first, but Lily's innocent plea, "Daddy, when are you gonna get a girlfriend like in the movies?" sealed the deal. So here he was, Friday evening, fidgeting in front of the mirror, buttoning a crisp blue shirt that Mia used to say made his hazel eyes pop. Lily, tucked into bed with her stuffed unicorn, had planted a sticky kiss on his cheek. "Bring her flowers, Daddy, pink ones." The restaurant Billionaire was a hidden gem in the heart of the city. Dim lights, checkered tablecloths, the hum of soft jazz. Ethan arrived early, clutching a bouquet of pink peonies, his heart pounding like it hadn't since college. He scanned the room, spotting a woman at the hostess stand, petite with raven hair cascading in loose waves, dressed in a simple black sheath that hugged her figure just enough to hint at curves. She glanced up, her emerald eyes wide and uncertain, and Ethan knew this was her. "Aria," he ventured, extending the flowers. She blushed, a deep rose blooming on her porcelain cheeks, and took them with trembling hands. "Why, yes, Ethan? Oh, these are beautiful, thank you." Her voice was soft, like a whisper carried on the wind, laced with a faint accent he couldn't place, maybe European. She led him to a corner booth, her steps graceful but hesitant, as if she were navigating a minefield. As they sat, Aria fidgeted with the menu, her long lashes fluttering. I'm not great at this, blind dates, I mean. Last one was a disaster. Guy talked about his ex the whole time." She let out a nervous laugh, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Ethan grinned, leaning in. "Hey, if it helps, I'm equally unqualified. Last date was, Mia's funeral, not exactly romantic." The words slipped out before he could stop them, and he winced. "Smooth, Harper." But Arya's expression softened, her green eyes meeting his with a depth that surprised him. "I'm sorry, that must have been so hard, and you have a daughter, tell me about her." They really talked for hours. Ethan shared stories of Lily's latest masterpiece, a finger-painted dragon pizza that had taken over the kitchen table. Arya listened, her shyness melting into quiet laughter, revealing a dry wit that caught him off guard. "Sounds like Lily's already a better artist than me. I can barely draw a straight line. She worked as a waitress here," she said, saving up for something vague, a dream she wasn't ready to voice. No family mentions, no past boyfriends, just present tentative connection. By dessert, tiramisu they shared with 2 spoons. Ethan felt a spark he hadn't known he was missing. As they parted under the streetlights, he brushed a kiss to her cheek. "Can I see you again? No blindfolds next time." Her smile was radiant, shy but genuine. "I'd like that." Chapter 2, Whispers in the Rain. The next date was a picnic in the park, rain be damned. Ethan had packed sandwiches, fruit, and a thermos of hot cocoa, Lily's additions, complete with heart-shaped marshmallows. Aria arrived in a yellow raincoat, her hair damp and wild, carrying a sketchbook under her arm. "I thought we could draw," she said, blushing, "if that's not too silly." "Not silly at all," Ethan replied, spreading a blanket under a sprawling oak. The rain pattered softly as they ate, knees brushing, stories flowing like the nearby stream. Arya opened up in fragments, growing up in a big house that felt empty, her love for books and quiet corners, how waiting tables grounded her amid the chaos. "People tip better when you smile, even if it's fake," she admitted with a wry grin. Ethan shared his own fragments, the ache of holidays without Mia, the joy of Lily's first steps echoing in an empty home. "Being a dad, it's the best and hardest thing. Some days I feel like I'm just winging it." "You're doing great," Arya said, her hand finding his. Her touch was electric, tentative fingers lacing with his. They drew then silly caricatures of each other, rain smudging the pages. Hers of him, a superhero dad with a cape made of cookie dough. His of her, a mysterious artist with eyes like hidden galaxies. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Coffee runs before her shifts, late-night texts about nothing and everything. One evening after closing at Bellinaut, Arya invited him back to her tiny apartment above the restaurant, a cozy nook filled with mismatched bookshelves and canvases half-painted. It's not much, she apologized, but Ethan saw the heart in it. Fairy lights strung like stars, a windowsill herb garden thriving against odds. They cooked pasta, burnt the sauce twice, laughing until tears streamed, and as the night deepened, so did their kiss. Soft at first, then urgent, her shyness giving way to a passion that left them breathless on her worn couch. "I've never felt this easy," she whispered against his neck. Ethan pulled her close, heart full. "Me neither." Lily met her on the third official date, a Saturday at the zoo. Ethan had warned Arya she's a hugger and interviewer. True to form, Lily barreled into Arya's legs at the gate, demanding, "Do you like elephants? Daddy says they're like big gray pillows." Arya knelt, her eyes sparkling. "Love them, want to feed one?" She spent the day like magic, holding Lily's hand through the monkey exhibit, inventing silly elephant jokes that had his daughter in stitches. By the flamingo pond, Lily declared, "You're pretty like a princess, Arya, can you come to my birthday?" Ethan watched, chest tight with something like hope. This woman, with her quiet strength and gentle laugh, was weaving into their lives like thread in a tapestry. Chapter 3, Cracks in the Facade. But shadows lingered. Arya's phone buzzed incessantly during shifts, calls she silenced with a grimace, texts she deleted unread. "Work stuff," she'd say. But her eyes would cloud. Ethan noticed the designer purse tucked in her locker, the pearl earrings that seemed too fine for a waitress's tips. Once, overhearing her on a call in the alley, "Papa, please, I need space, I'm figuring it out." He didn't pry, trust was a fragile thing and he was falling hard. Fall turned to winter, their bond deepening. Christmas Eve, he surprised her with a silver locket engraved, "Our story begins," inside a photo of the three of them at the zoo. Arya's tears were joyful, her gift to him a handmade scarf in soft blues. Lily's present, a drawing of our family, stick figure Ethan, swirling-haired Arya and Lily with wings. New Year's, they rang in at his house, fireworks on TV, champagne flutes clinking. As Lily slept, they danced in the living room to an old jazz record, her head on his shoulder. "I love you," Ethan murmured, the words slipping free. Arya froze, then melted, whispering back, "I love you too, more than I thought possible." Spring brought bloom. Picnics turned to weekend getaways, a cabin in the woods where Arya sketched landscapes while Ethan chased Lily through ferns. He proposed a trip to the coast, dreaming of salty air and shared sunsets, but Arya hesitated. "I have family obligations, an event I can't skip." "Come with us after," he urged. "Lily adores you." Her smile was strained. "Soon." The cracks widened on a rainy Tuesday. Ethan stopped by Bella not mid-shift, a forgotten lunchbox in hand, Lily's packed with carrot sticks. The place was quiet, but through the kitchen door he glimpsed Arya not in her apron but a sleek gown, arguing in hushed tones with a sharply dressed man. "You can't hide forever, Principessa. Your father expects you at the gala. This charade ends." The man, tall, silver-haired, exuding authority, spoke with an Italian lilt. "Arya's father, but why the secrecy?" Ethan slipped away, heart churning. That night over takeout he broached it gently. "Saw you earlier with a guy, fancy suit." Arya paled, fork clattering. "Ethan, it's complicated." "Tell me, please." She stood, packing words tumbling like rain. "My full name is Arya Vittorio. My father is Lorenzo Vittorio, CEO of Vittorio Enterprises. Tech empire billions I ran because the life, boardrooms, mergers, goldfish bowl expectations I wanted normal, to wait tables, paint, fall in love without spotlights or contracts." Ethan reeled, the shy waitress, it was all. "No," she knelt before him, eyes pleading. "The feelings, real, you, Lily, my anchors, but Papa found out. He's sending a car tonight. The gala's a trap to parade me for alliances, marriages like stocks." He pulled her up, holding her as sobs shook her frame. "Why hide it from me? Fear you'd see me as spoiled, not worthy of your real world." "You're everything," he said fiercely, "but we face this together." Chapter 4, Storm and Sanctuary. The gala was a glittering storm, crystal chandeliers in a Manhattan ballroom, gowns like whispers of silk, tycoons swirling like sharks. Arya arrived on her father's arm, Ethan and Lily smuggled in as +1s via back entrance, Jake's connections smoothing the way. Lily, in a frilly dress, clutched a stuffed elephant, wide-eyed at the opulence. "It's like a castle, Daddy." Ethan, in a borrowed tux, felt like an imposter amid the caviar and champagne flutes. He spotted Arya across the room, ethereal in emerald silk, her hair pinned with diamonds but her smile brittle as glass. Lorenzo Vittorio loomed beside her, a lion in bespoke wool, introducing her to a parade of eligible heirs. A tech bro with a smug grin, a banker whose laugh grated. Then, eyes locked, Arya excused herself, weaving through the crowd to them. "You came," she breathed, hugging Lily tight. "Wouldn't miss it," Ethan said, kissing her temple. Lily tugged her hand. "Dance with us, Princess Arya." The orchestra struck up a waltz and they moved to the floor, awkward at first, Lily between them giggling at spins. Heads turned, whispers rippled. "Who's the child?" "That man, Harper, mid-tier consultant." Lorenzo approached like thunder, his gaze steel on Ethan. "Mr. Harper, a word." In a shadowed alcove, the air crackled. "You think you can waltz into my daughter's life with picnics and pastries? She's Vittorio blood, destined for empires, not this fantasy." Ethan stood tall, voice steady. "With all due respect, Mr. Vittorio, Arya's not a merger. She's a woman who chose joy over jewels. And I love her for the artist, the listener, the mom she is to my daughter, not your legacy." Lorenzo's eyes narrowed, then flickered to Lily, beaming up at Arya on the floor. "She speaks of you, the cookies, the zoo," a sigh heavy as empires. "I built walls to protect her, but perhaps I built too high." Arya joined them, chin lifted. "Papa, this is real." "Ethan, Lily, they're my heart, no contracts." The older man studied them, then extended a hand. "Very well, but know this, Vittorio, doors open wide, or slam shut." Epilogue, Threads of Tomorrow. Summer sun filtered through the kitchen window of their new home, a fixer-upper blending Ethan's cozy chaos with Arya's artistic flair. Vittorio Enterprises had funded renovations, but on Ethan's terms. A sunroom studio for Arya's paintings, a garden for Lily's magic flowers. Lorenzo visited often now, the gruff CEO melting into Nano, teaching Lily chess amid cookie crumbs. Arya balanced worlds, part-time at Bella, not for her soul, board meetings for her father, but always home for bedtime tailies. One evening, as fireflies danced outside, Ethan slipped a ring onto Arya's finger, simple gold, etched with peonies. "Marry me, not as princess or waitress, but as you." Tears gleamed in her eyes. "Yes, 1,000 times." Lily cheered, unicorn in arms. "Now we're a real family." In the quiet after, wrapped in each other's arms, Ethan whispered, "Our story, it's just beginning." And under the stars, it bloomed eternal.